For most of the Carolinas, it was our first taste of winter weather this season. A mix of rain, sleet, and snow hitting our entire region, with the most snow coming down in the higher elevations of North Carolina. It's all led to a messy day on the roads with dozens of accidents.
This is a live look over Boone at this hour. That area getting more than 6 inches of snow today, much more than we saw here in the city.
And this is a live look over uptown Charlotte from our view cam. Visibility has been on and off all day with periods of rain, snow, and sleet. And as you can see on our live radar, this massive storm sweeping across the southeast is far from being over as we continue to track its movement to start your Saturday. So thanks for joining us, everybody. And Brad, you said we might get a little snow tomorrow.
Yeah,
right?
Let's be honest. In Charlotte, there wasn't a lot. That's kind of what we expected. It was kind of just rain, but there's one little piece of energy that might give us a little surprise tomorrow morning, and we might wake up to a little bit of snow in the Charlotte area. Let me show you the radar. You see mostly rain down to the south. There's a little bit of sleet mixing in, but the snow in areas to the northwest is beginning to let up, though I'm getting some reports. Our spotters in the Boone area still reporting some pretty good snow falling in the mountains. It's more powdery because the air is much colder up there right now. But what I'm watching for the overnight hours is this moisture is going to stay rain. It's not going to change over to snow anytime soon. Down near the Gulf Coast, you see this big cluster of snow? It's actually snowing in Mobile, Alabama right now, and there's some rain down into the Gulf. That's an upper low. That's the upper part of the system, which has to swing through, and it's going to move up into the Charlotte area tomorrow morning between 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. On Futurecast, you'll see we're going to stay mostly dry through the overnight hours. Temperatures are generally going to be in the mid-30s, low 30s up here where the snow fell. But check out what happens around 7 o'clock in the morning. We start to see some snow move across the Piedmont right through the early part of Saturday. So there might be one more surge of moisture that gives us some snow even in the Charlotte area. Don't be shocked if you wake up to that. Coming up, I'll show you how much we could see from that second surge of moisture and just how cold it's going to get coming up in your weekend forecast.
All right, thanks, Brad. And as we've mentioned, counties in the mountains and the foothills are getting hit the most with this snow. NBC Charlotte's Brandon Goldner live in Catawba County. So, Brandon, how are conditions now where you are?
Well, Sarah, the roadways right now, particularly 321, are pretty clear. However, you can tell from just looking at the lights on when you shine your brights onto the roadway that it is still slick, but still these roadways do not have overhead lights. It's why first responders are urging a lot of people to be cautious if you have to drive tonight. The snow came in fast.
Very crazy. It's a big surprise.
And hard.
It was backed up.
But perhaps not as hard as the hit.
I hit my brakes.
Sydney Smith's truck sustained.
There was a lady that slanted back of me.
With no serious injuries, his fender bender went to the back of the line. As schools and businesses let out early, first responders were flooded with calls for crashes. He says it took this trooper 2 hours to meet up with him.
I'm trying to get my son right now before it gets too bad.
Fearing the weather will get much worse, many shoppers like Megan Shoemaker ran to grocery stores to pick up last-minute items.
When it gets cold, I like to get, the cozy food like some apple cider.
Others went straight for the necessities. Shelves in the bread, eggs, and milk aisles laid bare. While the snow did come in fast and hard,
Very crazy. It's kind of ridiculous.
people like Jeffrey Krotz are slowing down to take it all in.
I can't stand to sit in the house when it's snowing like this. I got to get out and move, get out and ride around.
And other people who will be out all throughout the night are power crews, particularly from Blue Ridge Energy. They say that they are experiencing 700 outages, in particular Caldwell County experiencing more than 650 as of 9:30 tonight. Reporting live in Catawba County, Brandon Goldner, NBC Charlotte.
All right, Brandon, stay safe out there. Thank you.
And from Catawba County to Iredell County, another area we checked out that got quite a bit of snowfall today. It slowed down the evening commute home from work like a lot of other areas. Meteorologist Sarah Fortner spoke with North Carolina's Department of Transportation today about how it's keeping the roads clear. She joins us live now with more. Sarah?
It's not only what they've done already, but what they're going to continue to do through the overnight hours. Charlotte is just wet rain right now, but it doesn't take long or far north to find a good amount of snow.
I woke up about 4 and I looked out and I couldn't believe it. And everybody had texted me telling me how bad it was.
What started as a cloudy day quickly turned into a snowy one for folks in the Carolina foothills. Flakes falling so fast, it got bad for drivers.
It was shut down. So I had to get off and get on the East Maiden Road to come through the country. And I came very good through the country.
With snow the weather word for days, NCDOT has been covering the roads that were expecting the wintry mix.
In Charlotte, we didn't apply anything, mainly because we knew this was going to start out as primarily a rain event for us, and that's pretty much held true. So our plan for tonight in Charlotte is to get some crews out to salt, probably mainly focusing on interstate bridges and overpasses.
And with this being the first event of the season, remember that the most dangerous time for possible refreezing is yet to come.
So in the morning, it's going to be icy. So we got to be careful when you leave work. You just got to be careful.
If you don't have to go, which I do, stay at home. Bread and milk's not that important.
So guys, out with me tonight, I have our handy dandy infrared thermometer. This tells the story. So those flakes flew fast and they stuck to the ground right here as you see in the grass. Now as I scan the ground here, I get a reading of 19 degrees Fahrenheit. But when I scan the asphalt, you see it 10 degrees warmer, nearly 30 degrees. So on the roadways, as long as it's not an elevated surface, be prepared for it to melt. Just watch out for the slick spots. It's not worth it to get caught in a jam. I'm once again along 77. Rachel, how are things going in Charlotte?
Yeah, Sarah, the rain has stopped where we are. And as you just mentioned, salt trucks are out treating the roads tonight to try and prevent any accidents from happening later on. People I spoke with tonight say they just want the weekend weather to cooperate.
A little cold for my taste, for sure.
Pretty crappy.
Cold and wet. The streets of Charlotte a little empty for a Friday night.
Had plans, past tense.
Thanks to this blast of winter weather moving through the Carolinas.
We're hanging in there.
The city of Charlotte tweeting, "Is that snow?" But for many, all they're seeing and feeling is a whole lot of cold rain.
I would love to see snow over the rain at least.
Yeah, of course we want snow. Snow's fun.
Crews across the QC prepping for the potential of black ice, deploying salt trucks Friday night to target bridges, streets, and hospital entrances. Residential garbage pickup not operating this weekend, but CATS anticipates it will stick with its regular schedule for buses. And for those hitting Sunday's Panthers game and weekend concerts.
So is this weather going to have any impact on your plans at all? Hopefully not.
As long as it doesn't snow or there's no ice on the roads.
It's not really compatible for going out.
And CAT says worsening conditions could cause some delays. So if you want to call for wait times, just call that number on your screen. It's 704-336-RIDE. I'm live in Northwest Charlotte tonight. Rachel Brown, NBC Charlotte.
Rachel, thank you.
And as of tonight, Mecklenburg EMS says it has responded to at least 40 car accidents, many of them likely due to the weather. That includes this crash on Sharon Lakes Road, where a mother and her teenage son were hit by a vehicle tonight. CMPD says paramedics took both to the hospital with unknown injuries. At least 2 other cars were also involved.
Whether you've driven in these slippery conditions before or not, AAA is offering a number of winter driving safety tips to reduce your risk of an accident. AAA Carolina's #1 tip is, of course, to take it slow. They remind you not to use your parking brake or cruise control when driving on slippery roads. You should also keep your gas tank at least half full at all times to avoid your gas lines freezing up when temperatures are cold. You're also advised to make sure your tires are properly inflated and to avoid a potential deadly mistake before even driving. AAA reminds you to never warm up your car in a completely closed area like a garage.
The de-icing trucks are working overtime at Charlotte Douglas International Airport all day today. The snow and rain forcing airlines to delay and cancel hundreds of flights in Charlotte and at airports across the South.
NBC Charlotte's Mark Boyle was out at the airport all day today looking into delays and what's being done to get things running on time.
Between the combination of snow, sleet, and rain out here at the airport today, certainly causing a big problem for the airlines. American has canceled dozens of flights, and that number is expected to go up as we go into tomorrow morning. Dozens of delays and canceled flights in Charlotte. And as this winter weather moves in, expect those numbers to go up.
We're starting to roll those cancellations into place as we're seeing, when we have weather like this, it affects our arrivals rate and departures rate, and we're having to push airplanes through the de-icing process, and so it really just kind of slows things down.
De-icing trucks have been out here working since early this morning, and they'll be out here in place throughout the afternoon and into tomorrow. Brace for delays if you're traveling over the weekend. And late Friday afternoon, American Airlines issued travel waivers for passengers flying through Charlotte for tomorrow. Airlines are bringing in additional personnel. American tells us it's doing the same. More people will be on hand tomorrow as well as Sunday to see if they can get passengers on their way. Also, American has issued a travel waiver for people flying on Saturday. Contact the airline if you need to make changes. I'm Mark Boyle reporting at the airport tonight. Now back to you.
All right, thank you, Mark. And as a reminder, more businesses and organizations could still cancel activities for tomorrow. Keep checking back to WCNC.com/closings. That's the most up-to-date list. You can also find the closing section in our WCNC mobile app on your phone or mobile device. Our app is free to download.